When the German scientists finally arrived in America, a new chapter began. Behind the doors of secret laboratories, the U.S. government began developing projects never made public. Rocket technology, long-range missiles, and experimental weapons systems were now in the hands of men who, just months earlier, had been working for the Third Reich. But what happened after they set foot on American soil was far more complex than simply the transfer of scientists. There were tensions, suspicions, rivalries between intelligence agencies, and the grand ambitions that would eventually fuel the space race. This is the story hidden behind the secret archives, how the paperclip scientists shaped the future of war, technology, and ultimately, NASA. You are entering the most crucial chapter of the operation America has hidden from the world. Upon arrival at the new facility, the scientists were immediately introduced to America's secret projects. Many were shocked to see how the research they had previously developed for the Nazis would now continue, under a different banner. The modern laboratories they encountered far surpassed the wartime German facilities. New equipment, large test chambers, and enthusiastic American research teams greeted them, though still with suspicion. The initial moments of collaboration were awkward. There was distance, there was distrust. But one thing united them: technological ambition, and the belief that the world was entering a new era of scientific competition. It wasn't until a few weeks later that scientists realized America's ultimate goal, to master rocket science and military technology before the Soviet Union did. This is where the race that would shape modern history truly began. Not long after the scientists began work, America embarked on an ambitious project, to build a rocket capable of surpassing anything Germany had ever produced. In hidden laboratory rooms, work began from scratch. The first rocket engine was tested at a remote facility. Its sound shook the ground, while thick smoke filled the air. Each spark was another step toward a much grander ambition. Among the scientists, one name began to stand out: Wernher von Braun. He worked side by side with American engineers, designing a new generation of rockets that would become the foundation of the space program. After weeks of research and calculations, America's first experimental rocket stood tall on the launch pad. The world didn't know it yet, but this was the beginning of a new era of the space race. In the middle of the remote American desert, technicians and scientists gather. The first test launch is imminent. The countdown sounds, and all eyes are on the lone rocket, a symbol of America's new ambition. The rocket's engines ignited with a deafening roar. Thick white smoke blanketed the runway, and slowly, the rocket began to lift off the ground, carrying new hope toward the sky. Rockets pierced the air, soaring to heights previously achieved only by Germany. This was proof that America was now on the same path, if not surpassing it. As the rocket reached its intended height, a small cheer erupted from the scientists. But beneath the excitement, lay the realization that this was only the beginning. The technological race, and ultimately the space race, had truly begun. The success of the first rocket launch spread quickly through American military and political circles. Although kept secret from the public, the news changed the way the country viewed the potential of the paperclip scientists. The government responded immediately by allocating a large budget to accelerate rocket research. For the first time, space technology began to be seen as a national priority. The paperclip scientists were given larger research facilities and an additional American team. Gradually, they were no longer just foreign guests, but became a core part of America's high-tech program. Yet, despite all this progress, the threat of the Soviet Union loomed ever closer. America realized, these initial successes were only the first step. The technological race between the world's two great powers had only just begun.
Entering the early 1950s, America began moving rocket projects to larger, more modern research facilities. Paperclip scientists now worked in technology centers that would later become the foundation of America's space agency. Research also progressed rapidly. Rocket NGZ, originally intended for military purposes, were now being directed towards scientific and exploration purposes. sketches of future rockets began to appear on laboratory walls. When America began to see the potential of space exploration, Wernher von Braun and his team were transferred to civilian programs. This was a major step that ultimately led them to a larger national project, the formation of NASA. The rocket technology developed by paperclip scientists eventually became the foundation of the American space program. From there, the path to NASA opened, marking the first chapter of humanity's journey into space. Operation Paperclip was more than just a covert operation, but a turning point in history that transformed the remains of war into the foundation of the future, from the ruins of Europe to the laboratories of America. These scientists' controversial yet brilliant propelled the birth of the modern rocket era and the space race. This is a dark yet real legacy, a story that history is not always black and white, but always shapes the world we live in today.